Hi, I'm Rob Seltzer with Aortic Hope, and we are here to do the week in review. It hasn't been a real busy week at Aortic Hope, though there are some things happening in the background. But for those of you that know, I guess first we'll do a shout out to Karen Anderson, our founder CEO. She is home from the hospital and recovering from her open heart surgery last week. And she is, as you know, every day is a new day, and she's in the very beginnings of that recovery. So we all wish her well and hope that she continues to improve through her recovery. All right, let's talk about movement for Movement Monday. That's where we always start. Start your week off right. We need to move. But as it says, it's okay to suck. We don't have to be great at it, but it's not okay to skip. We got to keep moving. Being sedentary is not good for our overall life. We want to keep moving. So, how do you keep the promises you make to yourself? Don't make such big promises, okay? Keep them small. Don't try to be perfect. Just consistent, all right? Do it regularly. Set up a pattern and continue to do it because it is okay to suck, but it's not okay to skip. You promise yourself you'd move today, then move, even if it's 5 minutes. Hey, I'm sitting here, you can't see it, but I'm kind of marching in my chair. My feet are moving up and down. I'm getting some movement. Now, you may not crush it today or the next day, but as long as you start and you do something, that's what keeps you going. Every move tells your brain, I keep my word, I can trust myself, I'm still in this fight. So don't skip, don't overthink it, just move. Even if it's messy, short, or imperfect, you still did it. You don't have to go out and walk miles. You just walking around your house, doing something, cooking in the kitchen, doing some house cleaning, putting some things away, organize things, whatever it is, or exercise, formal exercise. Uh, it works. Keeping the promise to yourself builds confidence, strength, and hope. You don't want to lie to yourself. Keep yourself honest. If you want a little more motivation, watch this reel from Sharon Srivatsa on keeping promises to yourself. It's on Facebook. Just copy and paste that link into your browser, and that reel will come out. And thank you, Joyce, for making this post. It's Topic Tuesday. Well, last Tuesday's topic, not today. It's Monday, if I'm in the right brain. Okay, well, glad to see you're all here. Topic Tuesday is going to talk about the aortic arch. Real important. That strikes me to home because I had my aortic arch replaced. So let's see if I understand what's going on. But when doctors talk to you about this, it can be very overwhelming. Not everybody speaks doctor, okay? And they can do different types of arch repairs. And they can do a hemi-arch replacement or a total arch replacement. They both sound similar, but as you see, Hemi, if you know, I think of Hemi as I think of cars uh, with a Hemi engine, but it's half, right, or part of different types of repairs. So let's look at it. So the aortic arch. What is the arch? Well, the arch is the part of the aorta that curves up and over the heart, giving off all the branch arteries that supply blood to your brain and arms. And if the wall becomes weakened from an aneurysm or dissection or another condition, they may need to be replaced with a surgical graft to prevent rupture or other complications. Now, I'll be personal with it. So, that arch, you can see, right? So my heart, here we are, it's really kind of towards the back, comes up from the left side where the blood comes out. And it's big. This is the beginning of the aorta, size of a garden hose. And right above the aortic valve, it comes out and it curves over. And then before it hits the candy cane. And then you have the three branches, like follow my cursor, big hand right there. There's the top of the arch where you have the arterial branches. This one goes to the subclavian, which is the artery that runs down your left arm that you take your blood pressure with. This is your left carotid. This goes up to your brain. And this one here that splits goes to the right carotid and the right subclavian. And then from there, it's all downhill, okay? But as you can see, there can be different ways to repair the arch. Your surgeon will talk to you about that and which is the best type of repair. As you see in the pictures, basically, each graft, these white things here are the grafts that they put on, where they basically they cut out this part of the arch, and they cut out this part of the arch, and they suture or sew this graft, which is made out of a man-made synthetic material, polyester, actually. Mine's Dacron polyester. I'm sure they may use others, and they attach that and replace the part of the aorta that they removed with this graft. And so you see, this is what they call a supracommissural replacement. Okay, here's an hemiarch. So this one involved a little bit more of the arch. Okay, some of the area in the bottom, depending where the aneurysm was. Here's a total arch replacement, which is what I had. And I may actually have had a trifurcated partially because I thought nope, I did not have that. But there's the full arch replacement. I thought they did something with my carotid here, but this part, they just do the first half of the arch and then also put a graft on the right where the artery goes to the subclavian and the right carotid, the left carotid, and the subclavian. And then the last surgery is what they call a frozen elephant trunk, which you can see by the way it looks, why they call it that. And that goes from the aortic root all the way around and down through the descending aorta, okay, through part of the thoracic descending aorta. And I'll get personal again, I had two surgeries. The first one replaced my aortic arch, okay, the complete arch replacement. And then I had this done 6 months later. And I had the stent graft put here because I did have that aneurysm and the dissection. I'm dissected down past my kidneys. But it had formed an endo leak, as they call it. So there was a blood leakage, so they had to do that. And they also did a subclavian bypass. So they did a little something extra. They ran another bypass graft from here up to this here to the subclavian artery. And because it was damaged in the original dissection, and so now I give blood to my subclavian here from my artery down here, okay, which is great. All right. So hemiarch replacement. So that's the partial repair. The surgeon replaces the front and lower curves of the arch, the part closest to the heart, typically done when the disease doesn't extend into the upper branches of the arch. The goal, replace the damaged section while keeping the rest intact, because less is typically better. Benefit, shorter surgery, fewer complications, less time with your body circulation stopped. And who is it for? Patients who aortic disease is limited to early portion of the arch. Because I hear that in chats and so on, people asking, why don't they just replace it all now that it's damaged? Because they want to do what needs to be done. You don't, 4 hours of surgery is better than 8 hours of surgery, which is better than 10 hours of surgery. So they want to get in, fix it, and get out. Total arch replacement, more extensive. That's me again. It means the entire curved portion of the aorta, including the parts that give rise to the arteries leading to the brain and arms, is replaced. The goal is to fully repair, prevent progression of disease throughout the whole arch. Why it's done: when the aortic problem involves the arch branches or when a more durable long-term fix is needed. Trade-offs: it's longer and more complex, but it can prevent future problems in parts of the aorta that might otherwise become diseased. See, and as I said a minute ago, I ended up having the second part done later, and they knew that needed to be repaired later, and they told me I would probably come back when it was time to do the second part, but they did not want to keep me under any longer because it gets more dangerous. So they did what had to be done to keep me alive. And then we come back later for part 2. Circulatory arrest. So when you do have surgery like this, they have to stop your heart, to do this, stop the blood flow. So they involve a brief period called circulatory arrest where blood flow is temporarily stopped so the surgeon can safely work on the aorta. During that time, the body and brain are carefully protected, often by cooling. They ice you down and specialized perfusion techniques to minimize the risk of the tissues not getting enough oxygen. So whether your surgeon recommends a hemiarch or total arch replacement depends on how much of your aorta is affected, your overall health, and your surgical risk. A hemiarch repair is usually enough for localized problems, while a total arch replacement offers a more comprehensive solution for widespread disease. The best approach is always personalized. Everybody's different. So if you need one of these operations, it's always a good idea to talk with your surgical team about your specific anatomy, goals, and long-term outlook. Keep asking questions. Self-advocate, okay? Make sure you know and understand what is going on and what they're going to do, or if not, have an advocate with you that does and can help you understand as well and be there for you if needed. So thank you very much. And Anurud Karla, another one of our residents that works with us. And let's talk about why AHTV. Why are you even here? Why do we have AHTV? I don't know. Why watch it? Well, we have over 123,000 views and 1,400 subscribers to our channel, Aortic Hope TV. It's more than just a channel, it is a community. On AHTV, where you have found this program, you will find the survivor stories so you can get hope and inspiration and hear what others went through and see that you are not alone. Expert insights from medical professionals who break down complex topics in ways that empower you. Our programs, Ask a Doctor, Ask a Pharmacist, all those that we have, Ask an Attorney. All right, those are very important wellness tools and tips to help you thrive in your daily life. That would include me, the Aortic Chef, with the Aortic Kitchen, Qigong with Kevin Songer, lots of programming out there that can help you feel better and live better. And as we say, thrive in your daily life. Live and recorded events that help you connect with others who truly understand the journey. Every video is created with you in mind, our members, our patients, caregivers, and advocates, offering knowledge, encouragement, and a reminder that you are never alone in this path. Subscribe today, hit the little bell on the screen there, and that will subscribe you and send you reminders when there's new programming on AHTV. And if you just go to youtube.com/aortic hope, I think /AHTV or just AHTV and search, you will get every program that we have on the AHTV channel. Okay, and it's a great place to start. So together we can raise awareness, build resilience, and spread hope, aortic hope. Let's go on to the next. Friday was Feel Good Friday, and that was also the time change. How many people overslept, underslept? I don't know. We rolled the clocks back, so I think I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Made for a long day. But, does it change your routines too much? A little bit. You got to get back in sync with your meds and maybe your exercise routine, all those stuff. But in that light and dark, now it's dark early again. So we start to get tired early. So if you want to do, it's something to talk about. You can make some posts about that and let us know how you felt about the time change. Are we always going to be on it, or is it ever going to go away? I know there are some states that have been experimenting with that, but either way, it's just time. That's in our mind. So what else was going on in Aortic Hope? The Survivor Series on Saturdays. So I want to talk about not just the Survivor Series, which is great. These are ourselves, our members, telling their stories to other members and letting them know about what happened and how they've dealt with their aortic disease. When you do listen to those, you find out that there are people that are just like you, have gone through a lot of the same things that you have, which sometimes we forget about and think we're in this by ourselves, but you are not alone. There are quite a few of us, and we all experience very similar, if not the exact same things. It's also great for the person, the survivor, to tell their story. And if you haven't done it yet, I do recommend that you send an email to info@aortichope.org and volunteer to do your survivor story. It not only is it great for others to hear, but it is really good for you to tell your story. There's something cathartic about it. It makes it easier. Every time you tell your story to someone, it gets a little bit easier. It becomes a little bit more normal in your mind. And it's a great thing to do. I know that happened with me. Uh, and some people, do them early. I think when I told my story, I think I was about 6 months in, maybe. I was and that was unusual. Most people don't do it that early. And we've had some people that finally, that come up and say after a couple of years they want to tell the story, which is great. Whenever you're ready to do that, please send an email to info. And also, we have a program called Where Are They Now? So those are for those of you and me that have already told your story in the Survivor Series, but after a couple, 3 years, what's happened now? Where are you? How has your recovery gone? Are you back to the normal? Are you still in the new normal? Are you working? What's changed in your life? Are you where you expected to be? And how are you dealing overall with the aortic disease? That's another great program for you to do and to participate in. So if you've done a survivor story and you're watching and you want to do another one, and give us an update, basically, that's great because it's really good to hear. Again, it's more inspiring and it lets our other members, especially the new members, see that, wow, there is a light at the end of the tunnel and we do get better and we do improve. And as we say here, your courage can inspire someone to keep fighting, keep believing, and know that they are never alone. That is what Aortic Hope is all about. So share your stories, very important. There is a sign up here at the bottom, as you see. If you send it to info, we will get back to you with a link or right here on the blog. This is the blog page on Aortic Hope. Sign up today. There's a link there for the sign up sheet. And or if you where are you now? So we have both of those two different stories, two different links to sign up for. So go ahead. As I always say, my mantra, do it now. We featured yesterday, actually, John Ritter Foundation, is a leader in aortic disease research and support. They have a lot of programming. If you know John Ritter's story, I do. I do it. If you don't know his story, I encourage you to look it up uh, online. You can either just go to John Ritter Foundation or just Google John Ritter, and you will see his story of what happened to him and how he did die from aortic dissection. Uh, and as a result, his family started the John Ritter Foundation, and they are leaders in aortic research. So they do have programs. So for you or your loved ones, if you have been diagnosed, you can take part in some of their studies. I did myself. I've participated in their genetic testing research program. Now, this is not the same as genetic testing that you get in the hospital or from a lab with your physician, because the John Ritter program, you will not get results. Okay, your genetic material goes into their database looking for new genetic links to aortic disease. Right now, there are about 20% of the genes that cause aortic aneurysms and dissections have been identified. So there's a lot more out there. Okay, and they continue to discover new ones, but without new material, literally genetic material, they cannot keep that research going and trying to find all those links. So it's very important. And as you know, our disease for many, many people is genetic. And whether you are or are not, that's important, both sides. But to share that information and to help identify others that may have genetic disease or their family members, because once you are diagnosed, it's very, very important for you to have the rest of your family members, your immediate family, parents, siblings, children, okay, have them all tested for aortic disease. Now, that can be a combination of genetic testing, which is hard to get. I do admit that. Uh, some physicians and insurance companies don't always want to cover it. It's not necessarily cheap, but I was lucky. I got mine. It was covered. I got it when I was in the hospital when I had my surgery. Genetics came in my room and said, explain what was going on. Said, we're going to do genetic testing. I said, great, go for it. So, but it's very, very important that your family members get tested. So not only genetics, but also, which is our Think Aorta program, they should go to their doctor and they should have at least a baseline exam that is done, which would be either an echocardiogram, which is typically what they would start with to look for an aneurysm or any bulges in the aorta. And if they have any suspicion, they may want to have a CT done, which will give them a baseline for where they are. And believe me, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Aortic disease does not know age. All right. This is not an old person's disease. Uh, More old elderly people, seniors, people over the age of actually, I think 50 are affected by it. But I've seen and heard of children, even I know there was a 4-year-old that I am aware of that was having a dissection surgery immediately after my dissection surgery back in 2022. The doctor had to hurry up and go do this surgery on a 4-year-old. So it really doesn't, age is not a restriction, anybody. And then there's also all the related conditions, the Marfan's and the Louis Dietz, and those that are the connective tissue diseases as well. And those will show up in genetic testing and other tests. So very important. If you want to join, do anything with John Ritter, you can check their website or send them an email. Okay, contact the genetic counselor, jrrp.research@uth.tmc.edu. Okay, that's at Texas Medical Center in Houston. So you can also look around our website, and there are other links about the research that goes on at John Ritter. Great organization, a lot of good information there as well. We're a big and important game in the aortic disease support and education. John Ritter is giant. Okay, so you may want to take a look at them as well. Okay, and let me go back through here. I think I got it all. Yep. So let's go over the upcoming events for this week. So we know we always have our support groups, right? Caregiver support groups are the first Saturday at 10 a.m., the second Wednesday of the month at 10 p.m., and the third Monday of the month at 8 p.m. Survivors and their caregivers are also invited. First Tuesdays at 12 p.m. These are all Eastern Standard Time. Okay, everything we put on our website is Eastern Time. You'll have to do the math if you live in the Central, Mountain, or Pacific zones, or anywhere else in the world. We do have members around the world. They're from Australia to the Netherlands to the Caribbean, South America, everywhere we have members. So the Survivor Caregivers, the first Tuesdays at noon, second Tuesdays at 10 p.m., and the last Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m., which I host. Notice all the different times are there, so trying to accommodate people with different schedules. The Canadian support group meets the first Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. The Grupo de Apoyo, our Spanish-speaking group, first Monday at 7 p.m. And we also have a bereavement group that meets every other month, the second Thursday at 7 p.m. You'll need to sign up for those. There is a link on the homepage here to sign up for our programming. For the rest of the month, so that means this Wednesday, we have the Caregiver Connection at 10 p.m. Thursday, we have Ask a Doctor on AHTV. So that'll be a YouTube live event, just like this. Well, this one can be Thursday, the 13th at 6:30 p.m. I'm not sure which doctor we have, but those are always great programs. You can post questions for the doctors and lots of great information from them on the disease. On the 13th at 7 p.m. is this week, the bereavement support group meeting coming up. Next Sunday, we will have at 12:30. Kevin Songer is back with Qigong. He's great. Qigong is a wonderful, relaxing, healthful exercise regimen. And he's great. And if you really want to learn that, you'll find that he's a very good teacher. And it doesn't take a lot of your time, but it's very effective. Next Monday, Molly Thomas will do the Week in Review at 3 o'clock on AHTV. And as we go through the Caregiver Connection on the 17th at 8 p.m., again, Sunday, the next Sunday, we have Qigong. The next Monday, I'm back with Week in Review. Monday, the 24th is an important one. WISE, the Women Inspiring and Supporting Empowerment. It's a women's group for Aortic Hope members. You're welcome. The women are welcome to join that. I hear it's great. A lot of good conversation and, of course, great people. Wednesday, the 26th, that will be my support group meeting at 7 p.m. And Sunday, the 30th, again, we'll wrap up the month with Qigong with Kevin. So I would like to take a moment and thank our sponsors. It's very important we have sponsors that keep us going because, as you know, we are a 501c3 organization run by volunteers, and our only revenue comes from contributors and sponsors and grant providers. So Cook Medical is they manufacture quality medical devices to improve lives. We focus on bringing compelling products to market and keep existing ones relevant. Headquarters in Bloomington, Indiana, and global manufacturing facilities, we aim to increase our impact worldwide. Edward Life Sciences, as well as a global leader of patient-focused medical innovations for structural heart disease and critical care monitoring. At Edwards Life Sciences, we listen when patients talk. Why? Because patients provide us with information about their experiences, which can help us improve our products. Their stories inspire us to continue to fight on their behalf, and they can provide comfort and support to each other when we help them connect. If you would like to learn more about Edwards Life Sciences, their resources for patients, and their patient experience, click here. And we'll also have Doherty Sella Keene. It is a national law firm dedicated to representing individuals seeking Social Security disability benefits, which is very relevant for our members. With over 40 years of Social Security disability expertise, we guarantee that an experienced attorney will work your case from the very first call to ensure you receive the expert representation needed to navigate the Social Security disability process, which can be quite daunting. That's always, you can always find a chat about that thread on our pages. And so any help that you can get is really important. And I hear it's really an attorney that specializes in that is really almost a necessity when trying to get Social Security disability benefits. Okay, so I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Rob Seltzer, better known as the Aortic Chef, and then you'll see my programming popping up on YouTube on Thursdays, a couple times a month, and you'll find our healthful recipes and so on that my wife Mindy, the aortic dietitian, and I work out and present information on how to eat and stay healthy with aortic disease, but still have a good life in the kitchen and the dining room. Thank you for joining us for the Week in Review. I'm Rob Seltzer, and good afternoon.